I have never been an ARPG player. I never played any Diablo games, and I don't really know how they work either. But when PoE 2 came out, I was kinda drawn to it. So much that I ended up doing my own build, and well, I ended up playing for 400 hours. And with the new PoE 1 season coming out, I decided, what if, well, I learned this game. I've never played it, I've only done the campaign, and every time I do the campaign, I end up quitting because I don't know what the hell is going on. I really want those skins, and we have a good amount of time until PoE 2 actually becomes good again. So we're gonna pick up a good build, learn it, and understand the game with it. And try and get every challenge in PoE 1 as a PoE 2 player. Subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Go to my Ko-Fi if you want to support my content. Go to my Twitch to watch me live every morning. And let's get into it. So the first thing was to actually go and put all of our gems for Endgame. We already had done the flicker swap. So now we just need to go into white maps and put everything in there. Currently, the end game of Path of Exile is to do this little atlas thing. You're supposed to be doing every one of these little maps, I guess they're called, and you want to explore the entire thing. And whenever you finish them, you'll start getting to the very, very hard maps and bosses. So you want to progress through tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, tier 4, tier 5, until you get to the maximum. Thankfully for us, my gear was actually pretty good in terms of gem sockets, and we could actually put everything together. My Flicker Strike had everything ready to be supported with all these damage abilities. My Molten Shell was ready to be supported with automation, so it just casts itself, and more duration, so it lasts longer. And my Assassin's Mark was ready to be linked with Mark on Hit support, so it casts itself. Lip Slam with faster attack support, so I go faster. And all the stuff, the rest didn't really matter, but everything was linked anyway, so good for me. We also have our unique Terminus Est to do a lot of damage and gain Frenzy Charge on Critical Strike, so you can do Flicker Strike all the time. And the guide said to get ourselves Carnage Heart, to get, I guess, a lot of attributes, a lot of resistance, and physical damage leeches life. That's pretty nice. It also has extra lore, so whenever you kill something, it explodes. It also told us to get Dark Ray Vectors that gives you more movement speed the more Frenzy Charge you get. And considering all of the points that we had to get more Rage and Maximum Rage all over the Point Tree. I don't know what happened there. Everything made a lot of sense. It also told us to get this Iron Reflexes, converts all evasion rating to armor. Dexterity provides no bonus to evasion rating. So we're fully armored to do a lot of mitigation on the damage that the enemies give to us. This might be the first lesson that I learned here. Actually going through every one of the point trees and seeing what they do and the way they interact with your build is so important. Because yeah, you want to follow the guide to a T, but what if you're dying too much? What if you need a bit more health? What if I want to make some of this damage disappear and instead I need to get myself a bit more defensives? By me learning exactly where the nodes are in the build, I can actually make a few of the decisions and then come back to the actual way the build is need to be played. We also had to go in here and actually type /passives to see if I had all the passives from the campaign. There was a few things that I actually had to go and check, so I went to every one of the points of the towns on the axe and checked if indeed there was something missing, an optional quest missing that would give me a passive. I ended up with missing only one, Deal with the Bandits. But the thing about that one is that it's a choice, and I picked the other choice, and the only way to unchoose that is by doing some recipe weird thing that I don't have the currency for right now, so we will do that. I don't know the point. But with this, I was able to actually put all the pawns where I had to. It seemed like the entire build was making a lot of sense. We do Flicker Strike. Flicker Strike gives us Frenzy Charges. The cooldown of Flicker Strike is no longer there. We keep doing Flicker Strike. And all the defensive auras that we have protect us from dying. And when we do take damage, we just leech it back up by doing Flicker Strike. Everything made a lot of sense. But sadly, I was not capable yet to actually do the labyrinth, and even though I tried a few times, I died most of them. I mean most, every time. I never made it to the end. So we had to grind to get more levels, get better gear, so we could get our third ascension. Thankfully, the NPC crack gave me a few little maps to actually start with. This is a little bit later, but... And we went in and did all of the wide maps. According to my friends, it was very important for me to use Orb of Transmutation on the wide maps to upgrade them, because when you did them, you would get this bonus objective if you did it when they were blue. According to them, the wide maps you had to do the blue thing, and then the yellow maps you'd have to go for Orb of Alchemy to upgrade it to yellow. I didn't know why this was the case until very recently, but I believe them, okay? Bonus objective sounds good to me. It was pretty fun to just go around and kill everything. And I learned a lot from doing these maps, even if they were very low level. Like before doing a mechanic or something, put a portal in there so you don't have to walk back if you end up dying. Especially if you're going for a big boss. Or the fact that you can put these instilling orbs into your flasks to make them kind of automatic. If you use one of these orbs in one of your flasks, they'll give you a random effect, like use whenever you get chilled, or use whenever you get stunned, or whatever. Or whenever you use this, the flask on the other side gets used. I ended up getting, very luckily, used when you use a life flask on all of them. So now, whenever I press my life flask, everything else triggers at the same time, which is super convenient. According to everyone though, the one that you actually want is use when charges reach full. But I don't have the money right now, okay, to put all of this in all of my flasks. So I'm just gonna, you know, be okay with this until further notice, okay? Of course, all of the crafting will be done in the crafting bench that you can get in your hideouts by going into decorations and just searching for your crafting bench and put it in whatever you want. Also, very important to get your guy who's called fastest, where you do currency and change for whatever type of currency you need. And it also is very, very good for you to understand a little bit more on how the game works. And a little bit of a tip here for new players: you always want Chaos Orbs, and if you don't know what one thing does, just go to owned on the selling part, take the item that you don't know what it is, and see how many Chaos Orbs can you get from them. This will give you a little bit of an idea on how valuable it is, and then you can check what it actually does. Or just skip it and sell from Chaos Orbs and get whatever you actually want with Chaos Orbs. Also, if you wanna respec your tree, just use the gold from this vendor instead of using Orbs of Regrets, because believe me, otherwise it's gonna be very expensive. Of course, also went for the flask that the guide said, which is more critical strike, more armor, more damage, and more armor again. But even after this, we're dying still a lot, so we ended up going in and upgrading our gear in the bench. According to everyone I talked to, having maximum life was very important. So we tried to put this on every one of our pieces, and if I couldn't, because I already had it, I would just put in some armor and evasion instead to have a bit more mitigation. As always, I had to be careful to have our resistance correct. We don't have chaos resistance yet, but I'm sure we'll get there. And we got our quality to max, just like you do in PoE 2, on our weapon and our armor. I know that we can do it on flasks as well, but sadly that is very expensive right now, and I was like, yeah, I'm not really gonna go for that one right now. I'm sure eventually we will. At this point, all of all tier 1 maps were done, so we need to start and doing our yellow tier maps as well, which I was a little bit scared of. And instead we ended up going to the labyrinth and finishing it, getting our third ascension and getting us Ancestral Fury. That makes it so every flicker strike we do also targets the previous location they were used. So getting us essentially a double flicker strike, which sounds insane. We're way stronger now, which is super cool. Ready to go into those yellow maps. But I also noticed that we had a lot of little things here called Atlas Passive skill point available. And then I opened this and got a little bit scared. Because I don't know what the hell this is supposed to be. Now, checking some guides, it told me that I should get to this little spots right here so we can get more maps essentially and not run out of them, because that's kind of what you want to do. You want to do one of each of the maps, so if you run out, you're kind of memed because you can't get more maps and you can get more Atlas points and you can get more gear, whatever. But thankfully, as you can see here, I was on a guild and the guild had a lot of maps to give me, so I just, you know, grabbed my own, did my own, but when I saw that there was one missing, I would just go in here, take one, upgrade it, and do it. And I started thinking, okay, what else can we go for? And according to everyone, the main thing you want to do in your Atlas is kind of like find one of the mechanics from the game that you like yourself and start doing that one. So whenever I would go into the map device, I would come in here and test everyone out. This led me to a lot of mechanics that I had no idea how they worked. Like this King Smart thing that gives you like farming plots that you can put people into like farm and everything. Like, what? I didn't know this game was Facebook Farm Build 2. What the? Or the menagerie that makes you craft different items. The expeditions that you go into this special temple that you unlock slowly. My inventory was getting filled with things that I had no idea how they worked. I was starting to get a little bit, you know, overwhelmed. So I ended up going for the things that I knew from PoE 2. Breach and Delirium. They kind of work well together anyways. So it made sense, you know. You open a big breach and then you do a lot of damage to all the enemies around you. But I also ended up discovering this new mechanic called Legion, where you get a lot of enemies that are frozen in time that you can just come in here and kill, which made a lot of sense with Flicker Strike, Breach, and Simulacrum. Just pair all of them together and get benefits from killing everything at the same time. So even though I tried to get myself the little points that all the guys said that were better for new players, I slowly started getting all the things as well from Breach and from Legion, so I can see them more. Because I just want to go in there and kill everything. I'm not sure how it works right now, but I know that that's the place I want to go. I don't want to have to be thinking about systems inside of systems. Maybe in the future, but right now I just want to go in there and kill everything. That being said, if you don't have a guild and you're not gonna get fed maps like I'm gonna get, please go and get yourself a particular Atlas setup that works for early maps, so you never get the situation where you don't have things to progress through. And whenever I didn't know what a thing did, I just went in here and put it in my stash. And I'm gonna say that having the currency stash is very important for you to not lose your mind on this game, guys. Otherwise, you are gonna quit. I also got myself this premium tab where you can sell items if you publish them here and put it at 1 chaos. So if I think it's an item that maybe could be sold, I just put it in here and hope for the best. And if it doesn't sell, well, I just sell it to the vendor. And I can think less and play more. Like this, we ended up having a lot of fun. Killing bosses, progressing to the Atlas, understanding the build a bit better, and getting cool loot. I'm sure there's a lot of things that I'm gonna have to go in here and learn, but we will slowly do this. And hopefully one day I can actually understand how every one of the systems work and, well, hopefully be able to explain it to you guys too. But I think right now, we're in the right direction. Slowly but surely, having fun while learning. And I'm excited to, you know, slowly chew through this game's mechanics. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Let me know if you learned anything or if I got anything wrong. And follow me on Twitch to watch me live every morning going through this. Go to my Ko-Fi if you want to support my content. See you guys.